Another hot day in the city.
Another hot day in the city. So I have one more errand to make before heading to the cool AC of my humble abode. That is to the public library to return a book for one of my children. 'Cause I'm a nice guy. So we have the BMW R1100RT out today because it is entirely too hot. See, it's entirely too hot to take the NV out. I got lucky yesterday because it was slightly cooler. That is to say, only hit about 101 when I left the house, and I headed back later at night, so that was good. But already it's peak temperature, and I've made too many stops. So
Do you think about this? A book for one of my children. I'm a nice guy.
I'm gonna try to take as much of the highway as possible to keep breathing. Good thing about BMW is that because it's a parallel twin, a boxer twin, parallel twin, and larger displacement but really lower center of gravity, and the fairing, it keeps a lot cooler than typically bikes with this engine size, which may be more exposed or have a more conventional inline four engine or something of that nature. Or maybe even a V-twin cruiser, which can get really hot because the cylinder heads are opposed but vertically, and so typically it means that you're straddling, in essence, one of the cylinder heads. So leaving Arizona Ave, downtown Chandler area, heading on the 202 east. Nice breeze. Okay. Right. Then I know I've got them riding. It counts up to about 4. And they live on the East Coast, where, as you know, you don't get to ride all year round. If you're lucky, you get maybe 6 months, 7 months worth of proper riding. So I'm trying to encourage them, if they have some time during the winter, to come on down, even if it's just for a long weekend, and enjoy our 300 plus days of sunshine here in Arizona. And 2 guys I have in mind come, between myself and another buddy who's here, we have enough motorcycles to go around. And that's just a blessing, because I know that's not always a possibility for those who ride to want or have one motorcycle, but we've been blessed to be able to have more than one. And we'd like to share that with our buddies that we came up with, even not here. More blessings with others. Not that the sharing itself is difficult. I know that is for some people, but the receiving of it by the person trying to, it is difficult to share your blessings with others. Not that the sharing itself is difficult. I know that is for some people. But the receiving of it by the person you're trying to share with, depending on your relationship to that person. I've had it happen before where, with no reservation, no ulterior motive, I offered something substantial to a relative, and not only were they not appreciative, they rebuffed the offer and became downright indignant. So I learned that not all seemingly, well, not seemingly, but not all gifts that are given in good faith are received as such. And one has to be sensitive to that, acknowledged, if not respected, the person says thanks but no thanks. I've learned definitely never to try to push the issue, but just to make the offer, maybe do a reminder, and leave it at that. When people ask, oh, why are you doing this? Or, oh, don't bother doing it because they're not really deserving, or they're going to start hating on you, I try to remind them that I do it because once upon a time someone did something similar for me, and I appreciated it, and it's a way of me paying it forward, a test right at night. So now you get a better look of it in the daytime, because not only is it daytime, but I'll be passing literally through the airport, the road beside it. And it's a nice little airport. It's closer to the homestead, and it's been expanded over the years since I've been here. So I'm actually going to be taking a flight from there this year. Oh, I hate when the bus gets stuck in the windshield. It's a fact of life, though. Yeah, but over there on the left is one of the control towers, if not the control tower. It might be hard to see between the trees to the left there. So I don't know if folks can see it, but over there on the left is one of the control towers, if not the control tower. It might be hard to see between the trees to the left there, but that's the control tower. We'll get a closer look once I get on that road. So everything you see on the left here did not exist when I moved here. It's all new. It's the light. 214 in order to be eligible for one. Now, when you're a reservist or a guardsman, you don't typically get a DD 214 when you separate unless you happen to be on active duty when you did. Most reservists, I was a reservist, that get honorably discharged go into something called the Individual Ready Reserve, or IRR. It's a hold-in period where you're not necessarily going actively to drills to your unit, but you are on retainer essentially if the government needs to call you back, because you're still in readiness mode as far as the unit is concerned, because there hasn't been a lot of time since you've separated. Since you stopped going to drill, and you technically haven't separated from the military yet. And so when I was enlisted, I finished my 6 and 2 for a total of 8 years, and for the last 2 years, I was actually part of the Individual Ready Reserve. Now, if there are no major conflicts that require you to get deployed or anything like that, pretty much just time out of service. And that's it. Okay, you can see the airport tower a lot better now on the left. And that's Gateway Airport, at least the edge of it. So I get it because there are tons of people who serve, tons. Not as many as in the post-World War II era, but still a decent amount. And so I think it may be part of these municipalities' way of managing who gets these particular privileges, which I am totally fine with. I'm totally fine with. It's just something that people ask me a lot being a veteran, and I give them the shorter version of what I've given you. I do have a DD-214, but it's from my separation from active duty training versus active duty service. It's minor, but very important distinction. And so I totally get and understand. What I decided to do, because I still want to honor and help support veterans and their families, is that I'm actually going to get a VFW auxiliary. VFW stands for Veterans of Foreign Wars plate once my official tag comes in for the MV Augusta motorcycle. And then I'm thinking of putting my MOS military operations specialty designation on it. So we'll see. So that way, I'm still honoring those who served, helping to support veterans and their families, and it's open to anybody, which I think it's awesome. So that is what